Morning, you guys. It's Monday morning. Holy cow, I survived a rabbit show, a 2-dayer. It was crazy busy and so much fun at Ridgefield, Washington. Griffin and his crew with the Wonderlust Rabbit Club, they always outdo themselves. I was watching them. They have a solid team, and it just makes my heart proud because a lot of them are young, and that's the future of our rabbit club, and our entire community is on these young people, and seeing them succeed and do such a fabulous job. They hosted, I think it was a couple of nationals, and they had 3 judges with I think it was 3 for several hours. They had over 100 rabbits each in separate groups, and the way they managed the whole thing, it just was seamless. Everybody was thrilled, and I even had to try to meet who was in charge with that club for pointers, because we're going to do our nationals here in about a month. So I'm really excited, especially to have Griffin and his club, and of course Randy Shoemaker and his club and his group running things. Is going to be fabulous. I can't wait. So anyway, I'm just going to make a few announcements, and then we're going to get into shearing a rabbit. He is beyond prime. I should have sheared him a month ago or 2 or 3, but Mr. Love Shack, yeah, he's starting to mat up pretty good. I just looking at my notes, he's almost a year old. He'll be a year old in July, and he's got his baby coat on. He's one of my F3s from, you probably heard me talk about my crazy Rex experiment. And there's some things I like about the cross and some things I really don't like. But with each generation, I'm fixing the things that I don't like. And of course, he's an F3. There's not much I don't like about him and his cousins. Not much at all. They're getting the furnishings going on. They have beautiful coloring. I even had a comment that one was too dark. I didn't have time to go back and ask why, because that's what we want, is a rich dark chestnut. It wasn't this guy, but it was another one, I think. But I digress. Sorry. It's a Monday morning. I've had my coffee on, but I think I need 2 or 3. We had a slow go. I was so bummed. I was invited to give a judges conference on giant Angoras, and I worked so hard on it the last couple of weeks. And you know how things go. Things, best laid plans, right? Plan A, and then you got to roll into plan B or C. Well, we rolled into plan B. I had almost all my giants loaded. Everything. My husband does a fabulous job getting the RV loaded with the cart and everything I need. And holy cow. Good morning, Tammy. I love you. Anyway, I got everything loaded. I'm grooming the rabbits one last time, making sure I've been working on them all week, but it wasn't taking too long. Even the long-haired ones. I had almost all of them loaded in the RV because I wasn't going to pack the trailer. I was like, okay, we can just do it all in just the RV. And I shut the RV door and something snapped, and it was a weird snap. It wasn't a normal snap. Like, yeah, I couldn't open the door. Something had broken inside the latch. I crawled inside the front door, and it wasn't locked. I couldn't open it from the inside. And I plugged it in and turned on the air conditioning, because here in Roosevelt it gets a little warm, and it was starting to get warm. The husband was out of town. So it's like, I knew he was going to be home in a few hours. It's like, I need help. I'm thinking, I'm so glad it didn't break when I was at the show. Can you imagine trying to load all those giant cages over the driver's seat or the passenger seat out the front door? I'm like, that would have been a nightmare. Well, my husband helped me do that once he got home, and after he banged on the RV and he burned up a grinder trying to fix the door. I was in the rabbit barn listening to him. Bless his heart. And our friend Jeff was there. I heard some banging and some not so nice words. And I kept thinking to myself, do I dare look? I don't want to look. I'm still grooming. And I think, do I dare look? Sometimes a wife needs to intervene, right? But I'm like, no. And the louder it got, it kind of got me scared. But he did good. He got another grinder, finished grinding off the latch, managed to, a metal piece had wedged itself in there that broke off, and he couldn't get to it until I don't know what he did, and today he ordered a new part, so he didn't ruin the door. And as we were conversing, he's like sweating because he was working on that door hard. I can get you loaded in the trailer and you can get going. And I say, let's take 5. Let's think about it. I want to do the judges conference, but there was no show. And then we had an all wool show and then an open show. And I'm like, I'm going to be running like heck Saturday. So how about if I just load everything in the trailer, take the pickup, and I'll just leave wee hours in the morning and it'll be okay. And once, he left and he came back and we were thinking, about 15, 20 minutes. He goes, he instantly was like, let's see if we can get our relief mail driver to do it for me. And secretly I was like, I wonder if he would mind driving. But I didn't want to ask. I almost did. But when he offered, it's like, oh, yes. I think that's a fabulous idea. Thank you. I was like, and it was so nice. He helped me load 2:00 in the morning. So many people do this. And I try not to do it very often at my age because it's a killer knowing that we have a big running show day, because you have to be on top of your game for that. But to add, yeah. So he got up, helped me load the rabbits, got everything switched from the RV to the trailer, and had the truck all ready to go. So all we had to do was load rabbits, get our coffee on, and boom, we were there. And I warned him because Richfield, I love the setup they have down there, but it's a long walk. And last year it was gravel driveway and they had paved it. So it was a little better, but it was a long walk. And with loading giants, there's several loads. So I was like, we had a little hiccup. So a lot of words there. Sorry, you guys. But because I worked so hard on that judges conference material, and I want to use that in my Mastering the Art of Giant course and more, which will be happening. I'm going to be opening the doors to registration later this week. And I think it's going to start May 27th. 4 Wednesdays in a row at 5:00 Pacific time. It'll be via Zoom. So if you can't be there at 5:00, I will have them recorded. All these live sessions is helping me get my stuff together. So I'm feeling pretty confident and really excited about the material that I'm sharing. And a lot of people have a lot of questions about proper texture. And that's one of the biggest things I was going to communicate and show with the judges. I had pictures and I had live rabbits I was going to let them feel. So in the next few days, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take great pictures, videos. I have a really good example of what's a really good giant texture and what's a really bad texture. And I'm not going to tell you who is who until the video. You're going to have to watch the video. It's going to be really good. I'm excited. So I'm going to start on that maybe even later today because it's so bloody windy. I can hear it. Alan, I need to clean cages. And I don't know if you've ever cleaned cages in high winds or horrible weather. And sometimes you have to do that. You just have to. And this is spring crazy weather. I'm going to look at the forecast. But when you're holding on to those pans and a gust of wind wants to take you and the pan to your neighbors, I'm not up to that today. But what I am up to is doing that video for you guys. So later this week, I'm going to post that. And that'll be part of the Giant Angora course. So if you're not signed up for the Angora newsletter, do that. Because then you'll be the first to know when it's going to happen. And you can sign up. Because I'm only going to open it for 12 seats, 12 at a time. That's a good number of people to work with. And if I have a lot of requests, we might do it again. So, yeah. One of the positive things that I got out of it, I want to share my number one tool, Hope. I love you. Oh, lint rollers. I try to always bring a lint roller with me, and I always forget. And this is going to be in my grooming box. She said she picked this up at a farm store. It's called Pet Pals Group. She's in Northern Washington, and she said she's got several of these things, one in the car, one in her home, one in her grooming box. And she had this unopened, and she gave it to me. I've been using it today. I love it. You know, those lint rollers, you have to peel off the sticky tape, and, you know, it's wasteful. And I'm always looking for ways to be a better human, better earth steward. Yeah, there's a word for that. And I think these are it. And there's two sides. One's a little bit more aggressive, I think, for shag carpets or whatnot. And the other one is for clothing. Yeah. Pet Pals group, you guys. Get one, put it in your grooming box. I think another one I'm going to put is by my laundry. Because then I can get some of the fur off before I put it in the laundry. I try to blow myself off after I'm done with grooming. Okay, in just a minute. Mr. Love Shack is getting impatient. He's like, it's my turn. I want to get naked. Well, I'm sure that's not what he's thinking. I think he's thinking, I'm here. I want some attention. He's an attention hog. He's a sweetheart. So another thing I wanted to bring up about our weekend show. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I had a blast. The Giants did really good. I managed to get a few more legs. Hope, she won a big ribbon. It was fantastic with her little felted Angora. She was precious. She shared a picture of me. So I'm going to put that in our newsletter later today or tomorrow, soon. It looked like she was posing, holding down her little felted Angora that she made by hand. And yeah, the ribbon, she was like beaming. She did a really good job on that. So I'm trying to encourage her to enter that in our Wolfskin and Garment contest coming up for West Coast Classic at the Nationals. So even though we had a lot of fun, it wasn't without trials. Holy cannoli. There was a few things that happened that was challenging. I got to be honest with you. And similar things has happened in previous shows over the years. And it has been potential huge rifts in not only amongst breeders, but amongst our club and the judges, our people and the judges. and potentially the show host. Um, these were potentially very serious things that happened. And Arba, they have, and Narvik, they also have, I think BAARG does too, but we have a little different, and I'll tell you what. But you have a process if you want to file a complaint. Somebody says or does something that you strongly disagree with, there is a way that you can do that. And it's usually a sum of money and a file and a formal report is done. And I'll tell you, that is a very good process. Although, once you file that, the damage is done. So what I am so thankful for everybody in our club to be a BAARG member. I've kind of pushed it on the girls and they've been receptive. Thank you, ladies, for helping me do my little eccentric things. But I have asked that they take the kindness crew training. And what this is a basic, very simple, actually it's fifth grade levels. Fifth graders, teachers are using this material to teach their fifth graders to teach their other students, their fellow students, how to talk to each other when they have potential conflicts. That is not done enough. And us as adults, we need that too. So the girls have been trained and it worked time and time again. Every single issue that came up, and I'm not going to go into details because it doesn't matter. What does matter, what's really important, is we were able to stop and communicate with each other calmly and resolve the issue and come to a consensus. And no files or formal complaints were issued. I haven't heard anything today. I'll probably follow up with a few people just to make sure everything's still good. But when we left Sunday, I felt really good, and I think everybody else did too. And another exciting thing was my head was exploding. I had to expand my hat because a young lady, she said she's been watching my YouTube videos, and it made me feel so good. She told me that I was the reason she made it there. She knew I was coming to the show, and she walked away with a new Angora, maybe even two. I don't know. But we got a new BAARG member, which rolls into another announcement. I'm working on solidifying and revamping our onboarding process because it really kind of sucks. We are so good at having fun and enveloping people into our little fold, but I think the formal process to make sure they're in the know with us is kind of slacking. So I'm going to be working on that in the next few months too, because we've got a lot of new people and I don't know who they are, where they're at, if they're watching the YouTube or are they on WhatsApp or what their status is. And the biggest reason I feel very strongly about doing this onboarding process and encompassing new people into the group is I used to be new too. I live out in the middle of nowhere. I had virtually no one to help me until I made it to a show. And I learned a lot of things the hard way. Yeah, I still do that. But yeah, part of the onboarding. And I want to ask your opinion, you guys. If you have any guidance, whether you're newbies, somewhere in between, or you have decades of experience, if you have any guidance or words of wisdom to help me and our group when we put this together, I would love it. I need your input. But this is kind of on top of my head. BAARG, we've been using the WhatsApp group or WhatsApp chat group, and there's two levels. One is a bunny chat for anybody, and part of that is we also have a wool scanning garment little group where we can communicate with anybody. Those are open to anybody. You don't have to be a BAARG member. And then we have a couple of closed groups, and one is BAARG. You have to be a member of BAARG. And I think there's 2 requirements. One is, of course, our kindness crew training. And 2, you don't necessarily have to be there or show up at our shows. But we do have our monthly meetings on Zoom. And of course, we're communicating all the time on our WhatsApp little chat group. So my heart's desire is for it to be our club. There for a while, Tammy was doing a lot of the stuff and spearheading things, and it was turning into Tammy's club. And that's not what I want. That's not what we want. We want it to be our club. So that's the second requirement. Not for you just to chime in and join our chat group and not say anything. It could be as simple as liking something that somebody says, or if somebody has a question, if you have something, give your 2 cents, but make it be our club. So yeah, that's the 2 things, the main 2 things. And to find our application, I'm going to have to look at that later today just to make sure it's still working, because I haven't. But we have Blown Away Angora Rabbit Guild. And yes, it's spelled out. There's a lot of letters to that. But we have a blog. So Blown Away Angora Rabbit Guild. And it's blogspot.com. But that's where you can find us, besides on our WhatsApp. And the other 2 things is I would always recommend newbies, whether you show or not, is to be an NARBC member. There is a cost associated with that. Now, BAARG, there's no cost. But like I said, we do have our own little strings attached to that, right? But NARBC, there is a yearly fee. And one of the benefits you get that I'm a very strong believer in is the mentoring Facebook group. And that's a subgroup of NARBC, and only members can join that group. And the reason, I have to say this, I don't like Facebook. We divorced a long time ago, but I still have visitation rights. And there's a lot of my friends that are still on Facebook, and they make communities and communicating with people easy. That's one of the things they do right. I just believe they do a lot of things wrong, but the things they do right. And Lori, she's our secretary for NARBC. She does a wonderful job. We make sure that only members are part of that group. So when you get in there, there's not any of this potential spam and craziness that you get in some other groups. And when you get out there in the wild west of Facebook, some of the stuff is really good out there, but at least within that little paywall protection, you have a little more security. Not that anything is safe on the internet, but it's a little better. And then ARBA, if, there you go. And it's another paid membership. You do get free access to the DR. If you want a hard copy, I believe it's an extra charge. I'm an old-fashioned gal. I like the hard copy magazines. And their magazines come out quarterly, and they're phenomenal. Phenomenal. You also get a free book. I don't even know if I have it with me. Oh, I do have it with me. Yes. The American Rabbit Breeders Association. They have Raising Better Rabbits and Cavies. This is solid information, you guys. And you get it for free in the mail with your membership. So that alone is worth your first year of membership. Get this book in the mail. And if you decide you don't like ARBA, you don't have to re-enlist. But if you like it, you can re-enlist. And the reason I wanted to put a plug in 2 things is down the road, I've talked to so many people that want to enter at the last minute at convention. And that's in the end of October, I believe, in Reno this year, and it travels around the country in different locations. But this year it's going to be in Reno. So we're going to be there. And you have to be a member of ARBA to submit an entry. So if you're even thinking about submitting the entry, you have to have an ARBA membership. And if you're dabbling in CODs or thinking about taking out a COD, one of the requirements is you have to have an ARBA membership for 5 years. So many people either let their membership lapse by accident, or they didn't think it was important or didn't think that was something they wanted to do. But if you're even itching or thinking about it, because I'll tell you what, it's pretty exciting. The new COD rules, I even wrote this down. It's a great statement. Doesn't make it easier, because I've been accused in a friendly way that I've been promoting it as easier. Yeah, no. But it does embrace a stronger community-driven approach. And I personally think it makes it easier. It's not just the team of 5 or that COD team and their closest friends. It's the entire club. So that is the hard part. And that shouldn't be, because there's so many people. I remember way back when I first started, I didn't know enough what to do. I didn't know these people working on the black CODs, and there was numerous. And I tried to reach out a little bit, and there was nothing I could do, really. So I bred a few on the side by myself. But now, people like where I was are going to be critical to the success of any new variety being shown. It's critical. If you want to learn all the details, look at my videos. Number 13, I go into more detail. I won't go crazy, but can you tell I'm excited? Oh my God. Number 13 and number 14 goes into more of my plans, a little bit more in depth. But yeah. Did I work that to death? I think I did. And we had a winner. One of the things I'm doing with Discord, we have an Angora Discord channel, and I did it in the past, and I'm just gonna go like Gunbusters. We used to have a weekly giveaway, and I'm going to reinstate that. So last week I gave away, where is it? There it is. This book, Christina won, so it's going to go in the mail today. I happen to have 2 of these. And in my research that I was doing for one of my courses, I needed it and I couldn't find it, so I just ordered another one. Well, I've been cleaning house, and I'm like, I should share this with somebody, because I found my old one. My old one has some bent pages and Post-its and some highlighted stuff. But this one is really cool. So congratulations, Christina. And I have for this week, later today, I'm going to put up a mouse pad, Colored Giants, because that's what we're celebrating, Colored Giants. It's a mouse pad. Isn't that cool? So if you enter, you can get a free mouse pad, only on Discord. Yeah. Oh, yep. This weekend was really cool. In my newsletter, I'm going to do a little highlights from the winners. My buttercream, I don't know if you've seen her. She's my French cross. She's a very clean looking French dough, kind of French, but she looks like a French, so that's what I entered her as. She might go to West Coast Classic. I'm going to keep blowing her and see how she holds her coat. And I'm going to be on Poop Watch. And if any of you have heard me talk about that, it's especially with the longer coats, if they're starting to molt, I always have a keen eye on their droppings to make sure they're nice and round and they're not loosey-goosey, or we call them string of pearls. And that is when they're ingesting their own wool, especially when it gets really long, and it can cause some digestive issues and death. It's very serious. So you want to catch that right away. So that's one of the dangers of growing out these beautiful show coats is wool block. I'll give her extra treats of hay, and especially since she's not going to be on any shows until West Coast Classic. So when it gets closer to then, I can kind of wean her off the hay and get her all beautified, and I will be blowing her quite often. And since I use hanging cages, another trick I've used to keep on poop watch is I use paper towels or newspaper and lay down about every other day. That way I can see the fresh droppings and see what they look like. So sometimes if they're misshapen or they're not the nice round Cocoa Puffs looking things, that's your first sign of something's going wrong. And I would much rather miss a show and shear her and keep her eating and healthy, because I have big plans for her and several of the other does for more colored giants. My God. And her coloring is fantastic. And we were talking about wool structure. It's just ironic. She looks more as like a French, and she has the French texture, clean ears, clean feet. And her brother is a chocolate. Siblings, right? He has the most perfect wool structure for a giant in my entire barn. He's got the density. He's got the 3 kinds of fiber that you want. He's got the furnishings, the heavy ear tassels, the furry front feet, and the furry belly, everything that you want on a giant. Yeah. And they're siblings. Isn't that crazy? So my end game in 10, 20 years, I look at people like Betty Chu when she breeds, which isn't very often, and she doesn't sell anything. But what she does do is every time she does breed, she's confident that darn near everything in her litter is going to be best in show contenders. She has reached that level of where she's got consistency on her breedings, and she knows what she's getting. Right now, I'm kind of like all over the board. We have a lot of freezer contenders too. That's why I call them dinner and a sweater. God, I've yabbered on for a half an hour, you guys. I hope I didn't bore you too much. But I wanted to share some of the fun we had. Deidre and her French Angora. Joyful, I think it was just simply outstanding. She was in her prime. She just she had the density and the color. She had everything going on in the body. I was just tickled to see my buttercream even had a second look compared to that rabbit. It was pretty crazy, the impressive. And to put a little note, Ariane, she brought some pretty stunning satin Angoras. I don't usually stand around the satin Angoras because by the time we bring up my giants and bring up my French, I'm usually exhausted, and those girls have it rocking. She's got several people there to help her too, and so I miss a lot of the showing. But I heard from several judges that they were so impressed with the quality of the Angoras, all the breeds that we were bringing to the shows in our region. They've been watching us, and we're getting really good feedback. So kudos, girls. You are rocking. I'm thrilled, and I'm so honored to be part of you. I've learned so much, and we keep learning. Shall we share a bunny? I think we should get one naked. I've got all my tools, and he's ready. I'm going to move my camera, so hang with me while I put that up. I can do this. That's what I'll do is I have to switch it from the ceiling to me. You know, that 1% of getting better every day. Oh, I hit it twice. Hit it once, Tammy, and that's all it takes. There we go. Yeah, so if I make the 1% increase, one of these days, I'm going to get my camera situated so that will be much easier so you won't have to look at the ceiling and my mess in the back. Oh my goodness. Hi, Mr. Love Shack. You want to come say hi to everybody? I was going to blow him out, but you know, my blower is still packed in the truck and he was blown yesterday and the day before, so it's not too bad. Isn't he crazy? Look at that face. Look at that beautiful face. Mr. Love Shack. Are you going to let me do this to you today? I have to tell you, one of the downfalls of growing out a massive coat like this is you lose an incredible amount of usable prime fiber. So if you're doing for wool production, which I do for my yarn line, right, for Sinfully Soft, this is not what you want to do. This is not what you want to do. And he's been on poop watch. And he's been eating. He's still feeling really solid. You can't hardly see his body yet. And last week, prior to the show, I was pulling out. He was molting. So a lot of the stuff on the sides is mats. And it's webbing. So this, I'm going to see if it pulls out. If he flinches at all, then I know I'm going to have to just take a shears to him. But he has several different layers. So what I'm going to do first, because I sort my wool probably a little different than most, but because I have so many show coats, and those show coats aren't necessarily for wool production, and this is his baby coat to boot. So anything that's webbed, that's over an inch long, at least an inch. A lot of this stuff is really long. And he's not flinching. I'm just separating it, the webbing, and pulling out small locks at a time. I'm going to put this in my seconds pile. I know, yes. And I have a whole tub of that, all colors. It's all thrown in together. I even put some of my pea stain stuff in there. What? He's like, what are you doing? This wasn't part of the deal, huh? But we're going to dye all those seconds. And then I'm going to card it up. I might even blend it with some of my sheep's wool. And it'll be for lumpy bumpy spinning, which is my personal favorite. Everybody has their Your bangs have to go. You can't hardly see, mister. You have those bangs that just like. He's starting to get irritated with me. What are you doing? I'm thinking if I can get some of this felted stuff off of his sides. That's our plan A anyway. I'm going to leave the prime for last. And then the prime, I'll probably only get a few ounces. And that's not what you want. That's why I say you'll lose a lot of wool production. But that prime will be free flowing, not matted, not webbed, not stained. I know. I'm just pulling out just a little bit at a time. So if he flinches at all, now, mister, that's when I might pull out the shears and just shear them. We're live, honey pot. Don't embarrass me live, okay? Don't. Wait, that's my wool. That's not yours anymore. It's mine. So as he moves, I'm just going to work on this side a little bit. I don't have a hold on him either. He has free reign. He's like, oh, this is going to be fun. Nope. And he's one of my sweeter guys. Yeah. He just happens to be a busy guy. I think you're the one that got reserve and show, aren't you? In an open show. Yeah, you were. That was Pendleton, I believe. My husband, I won a mug and a little medallion. And my husband has taken that water jug, which he needs to help him drink more water on a daily basis. You young people, you take your health for granted. When you get older, it's like little things like not drinking water. Oh, God. Takes its toll. You are webby. These shoulder areas is just a problem area. So if I would have kept up and blowed him more often, I could have prevented this. And with this long a coat, how long are you? 5 inches? 6 inches? Should I measure it? I have a handy dandy little ruler in here. don't. I just got telling everybody how nice you are. Don't be a pill. Yeah. The underwool is about 5.5. With the guard hair, it's over 6. Yep. No. No. That is my stuff. It's not yours. No. Don't embarrass me. You're being a pill. You are a pill. I'm going to move my speaker up here so it's out of the way. And we're just going to start shearing you, I think, because you're losing patience. I know you are. And see, he's Maddie back here. So he's one of the rabbits that I will shear and then sort. I've got a few of those. Some you can, if you can, I recommend sort as you go, because I don't know about you, but I tend to forget. And a week, a month, even a year later, I'll look at that bag. What was that? And you really don't have time to sort it. You never have time, right? So if you do it as you go, that's why I always set out my tubs. I have my prime, my seconds, and my third bucket right here. I hear something scraping out there in the wind. I don't know. I hope it's not something. I don't know what it is. It's not. You don't have a whole lot of usable. Is that hurting? Is that why you're flinching? Are you just impatient? See, and the reason I really didn't want to shear him is he's got a nice second coat coming in. And if I was to shear him, I would get the two links in there. That's where I kind of screwed up. I should have, that's prime. That's not my prime bucket. That's over here. I got busy and I put a bunch of stickers on my tubs. I've been getting crazy with stickers. I'm going to be adding those to, okay. He's flinching, so we're just going to. What are we going to do, sweetheart? If you pluck, don't ever get in a hurry, because the last thing we want to do is make it uncomfortable or painful for them. That's the very last thing we want. Huh, baby, because you're precious. You are precious. I'm just going to start later. The stuff that's kind of, we're just going to start later. Yeah. Because you're just beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to use him in my breeding or not. His body is just to die for, but I've gotten so many good bucks. And of course, and what I'm doing is grabbing the ends. And even though I'm going to sort later, since I have a full handful, and then there's a few second cuts right here, I can take it aside and just blow it out. And then I'm going to put that in my second pile. So as I sort later, most of those second cuts will be gone. So let me know if you guys have any questions as I go. It'd be better if I can make one full swoop. That would minimize the second cuts. But with his wool growth, okay, we're going to grab just a little bit at a time here. That's right above his tail. There's a lot of webbing going on. Hi, sweetheart. You're such a good boy. Blowing out those second cuts. And I might even take out my scissors. He got the tail and his little private area. I have two sizes of scissors that I like. Both work really well. One is just a little bit shorter than the other one. And I used to have one that was curved just a little bit. That works really well too. And they are very sharp. So you always want to be very cautious about where you're cutting. course, you need sharp scissors for this Angora fluff. And what I do is I put my scissors in there, and one thing, I always want to see the tips of that bottom blade before I make the snip. Always make sure you know where your, that's my thirds pile, because he's pretty particular about his little parts down there, and we are too, right? I can't hardly tell where his tail is. Lordy, you got too much wool back here, buddy. Too much wool. That's a problem. That's a problem we'd like to have. Yes, you're okay, sweetheart. So I found the tail. I'm going to put my fingers right on top of that tail. So when I take my scissors, I'm going to go on top of my fingers, so I will not cut his tail. And all of this stuff will be thirds. I'm not going to worry about this right now. Some of it's seconds, and I can sort that out later. So the last thing we want to do is cut his tail. But if you don't trim the giant's tail, it'll just be a solid mat. And we don't want that. We want him to be comfortable all over. I know, sweetheart, you're okay. You're okay. There's the top of the tail right there, so we'll get that out of there. So this is where I'm going to be just very careful. Watch for the tip of the scissors, just one little snip at a time. And I try to work on the bottom side first. That way, if I want to give him a break and myself a break here after a bit, the hard part is done. Because you guys know, we're all human. If we do that top side and you all want to do it, I've done it. We don't see the bottom side and we'll forget. Or we'll think, oh, we're going to get to it later. And he's going to still be mustering around with all that stuff and he won't need it. So we want him to be as comfortable as possible. Holy cow, look at all that woolly stuff down there, mister. Can I get to it? I'm just going to put his head under my arm. I always trim their foot pads. Some people don't. I mean, it's a personal thing. But never, ever trim their heels. Never, ever. This part under their toes will continue to grow. And the reason I trim that is just so it's nice and even. Does that tickle? I'm not trimming you until I know you're not hurt. He's just like impatient. Are you impatient? And this is another trick I learned is you can't see his knee, but if you push down on his knee, he'll straighten it out for you. If you pull on his front foot, most of them will let you straighten their leg and it's easier to trim. But if they want to pull in with their heavy duty muscles and you're pulling out, you could possibly pull out that joint or strain them, and we don't want to do that. So I'm holding their leg, and with my thumb, I'm pushing down on that leg, making sure I don't trim them. And I'm going to clean up that whole foot pad. Now, some people use the shears on this, and you can definitely do that. And I don't really know why I don't do that. I don't have a good reason. I just leave a little bit of just a little bit of wool going on there. I get right behind the heel, all the way around the foot. This is one of the trouble areas. My scissors are starting to get dull. We need to send them in to get sharpened. Yeah. Is that all right with you? This really short stuff, I should save it in my thirds so I can weigh it. That's just for my tracking purposes. And I'm getting down here where it's like, he's like, oh, what are you doing down there? I'm going to make you much more comfortable. You're going to get all cleaned up and purty. I'm not going to hurt you, sweetheart. He's like, there's other things I'd rather be doing about now. It's almost 11 o'clock and I only have one leg trimmed. I'm not very fast today. But you know, it's not a race. It's not a race. We're just going to do a little bit at a time. I'll see if I can't get both legs done, and I'm getting right in there in the, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll try to put them in the camera a little bit better. I'm always very sensitive on where my scissors are. And that's why I kind of like the sharp ones, because they go in there. In that wool, I see where it's snipping, and then I snip. And I try to get right up above the little joint. Okay. Yeah. We got one foot done. Can we do the other foot? And that's another trick too. I hold my fingers on his foot, and then I just trim right above my fingers. Okay, Mr. Love Shack. Should I call you Wiggle Butt? Mr. Wiggle Butt, you got too much wool. Yeah, I'm not hurting you. What about them, mister? Are you ready for a break already? Is that your problem? He says, I just don't know about this. I've never had this done before. This is new, huh? It's new. He's had numerous grooming sessions. We're going to watch where my scissors is. Don't want to trim them. And if you're new to shearing rabbits, one of the best advice that I got, it was from a sheep shearing class I took years ago. And it was funny because when I was holding the shears, I was holding it away from the rabbit because I was so afraid, or not the rabbit, but the sheep. We're talking sheep now, Tammy. I was holding the shears about an inch away from the sheep and trying to make a pass down the side. She came up and she just kindly pushed on my hand. So the shears was right on the skin of the sheep. And I told her I was afraid I was going to hurt him. And you know what she told me? I'll never forget. Susie, I love you. She's the one that at Black Sheep she taught me. It's not a matter of if you're going to cut the sheep, because you will. It's to be prepared for when you do. Just that little thing of letting go was the ticket that gave me the confidence to continue. I just took a breath. She said, just slow down. It's not a race. Always be careful on where your shears is. Be mindful of the path you're taking. And when you do cut them, be prepared. That's going to have to be a video. I think I should do that. What do you think? And what do you need to be prepared for those little things that happen? Because we trim toenails too short. Who's ever done that? I've done it. You get little bleeder toenails, especially at a show. It's like, oh my God. And sometimes, you know, they just keep bleeding. We don't want to pull on that, but that's second section. It belongs in thirds. And this stuff down here, you can let it go or you can trim it up. It's totally up to you. For a boy, he's pretty clean. He's not bad at all. We're going to go around your parts. Get right up to that tail. And the reason I'm trimming them up a little bit more here is when and if I do decide to use them for date night, it will have free access. There won't be anything in the way. I just put my finger on his little parts there, one little snippy at a time. And then when he has to do his business, he'll be much cleaner. He goes, oh my goodness gracious, it's so nice. And what's fun is my older boys, when they've had 2 or 3 of these sessions, they nearly fall asleep on the table. Like, oh gosh, finally you're gonna make me feel so much better. I'll be naked and I'm alive again. I can move, and their metabolism gets a jolt and they feel better. They start eating better. So if you have any that are losing weight or having any issues whatsoever, one of the first things I would consider doing is giving them a good haircut. Yeah. So we got 1 leg, 2 legs. Your little, yep. Your little man area all cleaned up. So now that I took a scissors to him and I was pretty meticulous, going right around his tail and about 1 inch up, I'm going to pull any of this loose stuff off because I don't want to put him back in his cage with any loose fibers. If I was going to leave him for more than just a couple of minutes, I would even blow him because that's where they're also in danger of getting wool block in the middle of a haircut. And this stuff is just really matty over here. I'm going to separate it a little by hand. But see where this is pea stained? And it's slightly webby. It will not go into my Sinfully soft yarn or the prime bucket, because any prime I get off of him will be sold as to hand spinners. If I don't hand spin him myself, because his crimp is out of this world. That's one of the major benefits, things that I just love about this cross. Are you just like, no? I want to just do another little pass on your little butt. And he's so dense back here. It's hard for that shears to get in there. And then it's slightly matted. That doesn't help either. So what I'm going to do is just, he's being pretty good. Not bad at all. See, and he's molting. You poor guy. I let you go. So don't do as I do, you guys. Shear him a little more often. Don't let him get this long. Oh, I know, sweetheart. You're so patient with me. You are. You're beautiful. And your wool is just awesome. Well, it's after 11, you guys. I probably took too long. Yabbered. But we have so many good stuff happening. And his belly was sheared not too long ago. So when I come back, and his dewlap, he's got a few mats in here. I'll look at him when I bring him back. But his wool on his belly is not very long. He had one of my pre-show trims that I mentioned before. So it's about 1 inch, maybe more than 1 inch, maybe 2 inches. And his sides, you can see where that's really grown. But that helped him be comfortable while he was growing his top side. That helped so much, baby. So when I come back, I'm not even going to harvest his belly. I'm going to take care of any mats in his little dewlap. I might shear that, or I might just get the little webbing out. But I'll definitely finish harvesting his sides and the entire top here pretty soon. Within the hour, we'll come back here. I'll probably put you up in your cage, give you some fresh water, maybe even some treats. Treats help, you guys. I was telling the girls this weekend, it's funny, I have a bucket of the treats. It's sunflower seeds and YQ Plus and calf manna and rolled oats, and they're all mixed together. And I think they're not dumb. They could hear me pop that lid, and they start running around. Oh, treat time. Because they don't get it all the time. But at least once or twice a week, I try to give it to them. And if anybody's losing weight or being cranky or new moms, they get treats because they're doing an extra job. Now, you stay out of there. So you'll get some treats. I'll go to the bunny barn and get you some treats. Let you sit for a minute. I'm going to get some coffee. And then we'll finish you. Yeah, and if all goes well, I can put his wool up on my Sinfully Soft website. And all this baby coat, I don't know if you can see this. It is so bloody crimpy. It is just gorgeous. And it's too long to be machined and in my commercially spun yarn. But it is a spinner's dream. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Yeah, so and his guard hair is even soft. No, don't be eating my shears. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go for now. You have a beautiful Monday. And I'm going to get some more coffee and let this guy have a break and then finish shearing him. See you later. Bye.